Fox News. Breaking news.
Justice Samuel Alito just laid out the nightmare in plain English. A foreign mother flies in, gives birth, flies home, raises that child to hate America, and under today's Roberts-led ruling, that person still carries a U.S. passport even if he plots to harm this country. That's not some activist slogan. That is a sitting Supreme Court justice warning the country after John Roberts joined Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Amy Coney Barrett to block President Trump's Day 1 order, 5 votes, 1 loophole. And now the fight over who gets to be an American explodes out of the courtroom and straight into Congress. And this matters because citizenship is not paperwork. Citizenship is the bond that says this country belongs to its people. John Roberts, in his 5-4 majority, just treated that bond like a coupon code for illegal entry, birth tourism, and demographic gamesmanship. The ruling says that children born here to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are citizens at birth. That means the incentive machine keeps humming: more illegal crossings, more welfare strain, more chain migration pressure, more pressure on schools and hospitals, more incentive for foreign nationals to game the system. Mike Johnson said it bluntly in real time: the system has been abused through birth tourism. And he's right. And one source we're going to show you says there are more than 500 firms in China helping foreign mothers come here for U.S. citizen babies, more than 500. And that's not a misunderstanding, that's an industry. And President Trump forced this scam into broad daylight. Roberts and company just protected it. So now Congress has no excuse left. See, John Roberts just told the country to accept obvious abuse, and that's exactly why I only back things that actually work. After trying hundreds of supplements, C60 Evo crushed all the junk out there. My brain fog gone, joint pain virtually eliminated. My wife's skin looks 10 years younger. My energy feels 20 years younger. Now, this Nobel Prize-winning molecule, it's not just another antioxidant. It works at the cellular level, where aging actually happens. In the Paris study, lab animals live 90% longer, the longest life extension in history. It's 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. It's worth more than gold per ounce. And the team has been making this since 1991 in their Houston lab. So grab exclusive savings at c60evo.com/NNN. Use code NNN at checkout. America cannot afford fake fixes. Real results mean clearer thinking, better skin, and feeling young again. And here's the detail that should make every parent, taxpayer, and border state resident furious. This is not just about illegal entry. The machine built a whole business model around it. We're talking about birth tourism outfits advertising American babies as a product, with one report citing more than 500 firms in China alone. And then the Supreme Court majority steps in and locks the conveyor belt in place. I'm going to show you the receipts because the audience is hammering one question tonight. If the court blocked Trump's route, which Republicans will actually fight now? So we have this, the Supreme Court voting to uphold birthright citizenship in a 5-4 ruling. Here it is, the actual ruling. The question presented is whether the Constitution guarantees citizenship to children born in the U.S. of parents who are unlawfully or temporarily present in the country. So the Supreme Court ruling, and it's a gut punch. Trump's order goes down, 5-4. Now Fox breaks the vote count. And the name MAGA voters will remember is Chief Justice Roberts. In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court ruled 5-4 against President Trump's executive order limiting birthright citizenship from children of legal immigrants. The historic decision solidifies the strength of the 14th Amendment, reinforcing 158 years of legal precedent since the 14th Amendment was officially ratified into the Constitution. Chief Justice Roberts led the majority, writing, "Those children are thus subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. They satisfy both the amendments of the Citizenship Clause. They are born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Under the Constitution, they are citizens at birth." Robert was joined by Sotomayor, Kagan, Barrett, and Jackson. Kavanaugh concurs in part in the judgment and dissents in part, while Justice Alito, Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch dissent. So that is a huge blow to President Trump today. Roberts siding with the liberal bloc, and that's the headline. Next, we get the live Fox breakdown of how the ruling came together and which justice stood with the dissent. Listen.
It was an executive order that President Trump, on day one of his second term in January 2025, signed the executive order. It was immediately challenged, and now we can tell you that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled against President Trump's order to limit birthright citizenship. Shannon, we have talked for some time about the president feeling that he would not win on this one. The question is, why not?
Okay. Right off the bat, it says children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are, quote, subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are citizens at birth under the 14th Amendment's Citizenship Clause. So look how this broke down. As we expected, the Chief Justice wrote this opinion. Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, Barrett, and Jackson joined. Jackson has a concurring opinion in which Sotomayor joins. Justice Kavanaugh files an opinion concurring in the judgment and dissenting in part. The dissent comes from Justice Thomas. He is joined by Gorsuch, Alito, and then Justice Gorsuch apparently has his own dissenting opinion. So it is what we expected after the arguments here, and it looks like a bit of a split, but enough of a plurality coming together to say that the executive order that the president issued very quickly upon taking office is no good, and that if people are here, subject to the jurisdiction thereof includes people who are here illegally. Writing for the majority, Chief Justice Roberts says this: citizenship then and now was the right to have rights to freely participate in our political community. Talking about the 14th Amendment, the framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every freeborn person in this land. That's a quote, and it looks like it's a quote back to some of the legislative debate about this in Congress. He says we keep that promise today. So a loss probably expected by the Trump White House, but it is official and it's a thick one. So we'll keep reading.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's bring in John.
So you heard the Fox News confirm the setback in the split on the bench. Now Speaker Mike Johnson weighs in, calling out the abuse of birth tourism and saying the fix may have to come through the Constitution itself. He reacts in real time after hearing the Supreme Court's ruling.
I think anybody who looks at this, oh dear, what did they rule? Well,
This is real time.
I need to read the opinion, okay? But obviously you could say that's a textualist, originalist view. However, I do think that this has been grossly abused in recent years, okay? And that is the case that was being made by the plaintiffs in the case, and we're very sympathetic to that because it is a serious problem. We have it's become a birthing tourism, they call it, a trend where people will just come and you just come onto the soil and have your child, and then they're able to avail themselves of the welfare state and everything else. It's been abused. It's one of those things that was intended to serve a noble and important purpose and has been thwarted and overused and abused. And so I'm sure that we'll continue to look at that. I mean, I'm sure the conclusion from this opinion is going to be that you got to amend the Constitution to fix that. As we all know, it's a big challenge to amend the Constitution. It's only happened 27 times in our whole nation's history. And the reason is because you got to have 2/3 of both chambers of Congress and 3/4 of the states to ratify. It's usually at least a many years long process and very complicated. We'll see. I'm sure there's going to be lots of discussion about that. I will say I'm very disappointed in that outcome. I think it subjects the country to serious challenges going forward, and we'll have to deal with it as a Congress.
Amend the Constitution. That's a tall order. So Johnson says the system's been abused, admits the court may have forced this into Congress's lap, but Justice Alito goes even harder, warning the ruling opens a dangerous passport loophole with national security consequences. Alito is fuming over SCOTUS giving the green light to birthright citizenship.
Back to Shannon, who's got more. Yet again, Shannon.
All right, this comes from Justice Alito, who brought this up during the arguments. This is his separate dissent. He said the court's interpretation also has national security implications. Suppose that a person's only connection to this country is that he was born here to a mother who was present just long enough to give birth and then quickly return to her native country. Suppose that country is a strategic adversary or enemy of the United States. Suppose the child never visited the United States while growing up and was inculcated with hatred of this this country. According to this court now, that person is a citizen of the United States. He can enter and leave the country as he pleases. He can travel the world on a United States passport. Even if he plots to harm this country, he cannot be deprived of his status as a citizen, at least under current precedent. He goes on to say that this decision today also provides a powerful incentive to enter or remain in this country illegally. He goes on to say, in my judgment, the court has made a mistake that will seriously affect the country's future. So some very pointed dissents here from those who raised these very big concerns during the arguments. And they're real world scenarios, which are not a fantasy. They're not a movie. I mean, these things that can actually happen now under this ruling that you have today from the majority.
So Alito's not talking theory. He's laying out the nightmare scenario in English. Next, Nancy Mace moves from warning to action with a constitutional amendment to shut the loophole for good. She writes, the 14th Amendment was never a welcome mat for illegal immigration. In its past time, we made it clear. We introduced a constitutional amendment to end automatic citizenship for children of illegal immigrants and shut the anchor baby loophole for good. American citizenship is a privilege, not a prize handed out for breaking our laws. So Nancy Mace introducing a constitutional amendment. So she says citizenship's not a reward. Now another heavyweight on the court, Clarence Thomas, unloads with a dissent, accusing the majority of twisting the Fourth Amendment beyond recognition. Justice Clarence Thomas pens a scathing dissent. He's accusing the majority of repurposing the 14th Amendment to protect its own set of preferred rights that the Reconstruction Congress never contemplated and that cannot find support in its text. Listen. Oh no, we don't have audio. We don't have audio on that. I'll read it to you. To protect its own preferred rights. Okay, today the court does so again by recognizing a constitutional right to citizenship for the children of all foreign birth tourists and illegal aliens. I'm not sure that today's opinion will stand the test of time. The citizenship clause added greatly to the dignity and glory of American citizenship. Today, opinion devalues that citizenship. I respectfully dissent. So Thomas is calling this a betrayal of the amendment's original purpose. Next, we'll see an earlier clip where he broadens the fight, taking aim at the progressivism that helped build the entire open border mess.
Progressivism seeks to replace the basic premises of the Declaration of Independence, and hence our form of government. It holds that our rights and our dignities come not from God, but from government. It requires of the people a subservience and weakness incompatible with a constitution premised on the transcendent origin of our rights.
So Thomas frames this as a deeper battle over the Constitution itself. So where does this leave Trump after the ruling? Up next, the war room points to a path forward that doesn't end at the Supreme Court. Trump's effort to reverse birthright citizenship may succeed with or without SCOTUS, and that's the key point. The fight may not be over. Next, Trump doubles down himself, saying birthright citizenship can still be ended with Congress if necessary. Here he is in the Oval.
Yawn.
And Mr. President, on birthright citizenship.
Birthright citizenship is next. What are your thoughts? Birthright citizenship. What are your thoughts, and will you accept it if it rules against you?
Well, I guess I have to accept. It's the Supreme Court, so I'll accept. I think it's very bad for our nation. We're the only nation that does it. No other nation does that birthright citizenship. No, not even close. Some did it. They ended it. It's tremendously destructive. It's extremely costly. I don't know. It's up to them, but. In terms of for the good of the country, it would be great if they didn't allow it. It would be great, but I can't tell you. The Slaughter case was the big case today. That was really a big case because it gave strength to presidents and strength to the presidency. A very important case. It's been going on for almost 100 years. Think of that. And this was the ruling that really topped everything by a lot today. Yeah.
Mr. President, Zohran Mamdani said in an interview this week that he.
So Trump's message is simple: keep fighting and use the legislative route if the court won't do its job. But while that battle heats up, new questions are raised about one of the justices in the majority, Sonia Sotomayor. Supreme Court Sonia Sotomayor was gifted more than $4,000 worth of concert tickets last summer from the record label of pro-immigrant artist Bad Bunny. So the corruption stench gets worse when you look at the ruling, what this ruling protects. Next, Libs of TikTok shows the birth tourism industry the decision just handed another win. SCOTUS basically green-lit this scam. Hundreds of companies provide birth tourism for foreign moms who want U.S. citizen babies. Amerimaxa, Miami Mama, Ada, China Mift Baby Group, Global Baby. Look at these. Have My Baby in Miami. There are more than 500 firms in China that facilitate people coming from the Communist Chinese Party to give birth here in the United States. So the moral break in the story sits right there in black and white. Chief Justice John Roberts sided with Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Amy Coney Barrett to preserve a loophole that even Mike Johnson admits got abused through birth tourism. Then Justice Clarence Thomas hammered the majority for repurposing the 14th Amendment beyond anything the Reconstruction Congress contemplated. And he nailed it. That amendment secured the rights of freed slaves. It did not create a clearance lane for foreign nationals, cartel pipelines, and passport shopping. And Alito drove the spike deeper. The court made a mistake that will seriously affect the country's future. Of course it will. When hostile actors can game citizenship itself, the establishment is not defending the Constitution, it is devaluing America. So take the ruling for what it is. A bad Supreme Court decision, not a final defeat. President Trump already won the biggest battle here by forcing the country to face a scam the establishment protected for decades. He dragged birth tourism, anchor baby incentives, and the corruption of automatic citizenship into the center of the national argument. Now the next move belongs to Congress. Mike Johnson needs action. Nancy Mace already drew the line the right way. American citizenship is a privilege, not a prize handed out for breaking our laws. Pass legislation, force the votes, push the constitutional remedy if that is what it takes, and make every Republican choose between Roberts-style surrender and national survival. Drop your take below. Should Congress move now to end this loophole for good? And share this segment with one person who still thinks this is harmless. It's not harmless. It's the future of the Republic on the line. And I want to make sure that you stay on the line too. With that telephone number you see on the screen, 844-840-4963. Thousands and thousands of patriots have already texted the words raw feed to that number, and they are getting the inside track direct from me to their phones. When YouTube doesn't send you the notifications, I will. And since America's 250th birthday is upon us, make sure you're celebrating. Celebrate with us by going to the Next News merch shelf below this video or shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.